Boom. We are live on the Truman Show with Nick and Crystal. Crystal, how are you?
I'm very well. Yes. Beautiful sunny day here today.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's coming. Spring is at our door. It's coming soon. So
Yeah.
it's very uplifting. It's me too. I'm on fire as always. Today we're gonna go back on the topic of aging to start. I think Nick wanted to add some stuff, and some stuff came to me also about aging. And really, we say that age is a stupid and ridiculous number. We all say that, but it might not be so ridiculous, because what differentiates someone from being a certain age, like let's take the age of 50, some will look older at 50 than others, has to do with the food you eat. Like, it's the aging is only determined by the advanced glycation process you're in. So if you eat a cooked meal and like dead stuff, and if you don't eat stuff that is alive, fruit, veggies, and we know what's alive, we know what's dead. I don't need to go on the list. But if you eat alive food, you will look alive. Like, it's, to me, it's not very hard to grasp the idea of why people age so much and look so destroyed. And especially you start thinking about that when you're at a certain age, like us. We're getting close. Me, I'm over 50. Maybe not you guys, but you're getting there eventually. And then you start thinking, like, how do I want to age in this world? Do I want to look like a rag, a wrinkled rag and stuff? Like, very people are very damaged skin and stuff, and the skin is one of the most important organ on your body, so it's got to be preserved. But how do we want to have keep a young look? That's what I'm saying. So maybe you can. Also, some people have more gray hair than others. Where does this come from? Some people lose their hair. Why? Like, just
Yeah.
into all this, and to turning the page. Also, the word page as the PH, like we turn the page. It's another we age when we turn the page.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, it's interesting to see where you where's you want to take this, Nick, the aging thing.
Yeah. Well, so firstly, the what comes to mind is the age number. It is astrological because each number is each solar return. Solar return is just when the sun, you know, conjoins your sun that you were born on, every year. So it is a bit astrological, even. So that's just interesting. It's all astrological and timing and stuff like that. And as far as just maintaining life, you just have to have every cell have life in it. So it has the high and proper amount of electromagnetic charge, and then all the proper minerals, because each cell has tons of chromium, molybdenum, all these precious shiny metals, and then it should have the correct electromagnetic charge. You just got to take care of every cell, because once they lose those minerals and dry up, they start losing their characteristics, their color, their glow. So it kind of has to do with that. And then what else? Anyone want to?
Stress. If you're stressed, you are going to age faster.
I heard about oxidative stress. That's the stress we're talking about.
Yeah, because it's oxidating the cells essentially.
That's why it's good to have antioxidant.
Yeah.
But then they say we breathe oxygen.
I know,
This
right?
don't make sense, eh? Oxygen. Why we would oxidize our gene? Like, do we really breathe oxygen? I even question that.
Well,
right.
Yeah, the air in the Iron Age is not good, and that's what we were just leaving. They had those giant trees, and there was more carbon in the air, and even now they find with growing operations, if you pump carbon into it, because we're all carbon-based life forms, everything's carbon-based. if you pump carbon gas into a growing room, they grow like 50 or twice as fast and twice as tall and twice as much. And same with the fulvic too. It's high in carbon. But as far as oxygen, I think that's why we age. A lot of it is the air.
Yeah, because we can't really control our air. That's one thing that's really hard to control. Like you can control what you're putting in your body as far as food and water, what you're watching, what you're listening to. But air, you can have filters in your home, but if you're going outside,
yeah, and
unless you want to wear a filtration mask or something.
It should be an elixir of noble gases and ormuses and plasmas, and it should be it's corrupt. It's corrupt because we're like all systems is corrupt, like the fiat system is corrupt, like the medical system is corrupt, and corrupt like the school system. So is the food system's corrupt. The weather. So is the air, because it's all Iron Age. It should be this amazing gas that you breathe, and you breathe 4,000 gallons a day.
Yeah, but is that why also it's important the hydrogen water intake, because it brings good gas into yourself. Hydrogen. We're not talking about oxygen. We're talking about hydrogen. It sounds a lot better to me to hydrate my gene than oxidize them.
Yeah, that's been a huge game changer for us, the hydrogen machine. And we drink about a gallon a day each. And when you're chugging just regular water, you get that like gurgle, like slosh feeling in your stomach. You can drink a ton of this hydrogen water and you do not feel that.
I'm convinced it's the only thing that ages you is dehydration, because if you look at like a grape and a prune, well, also like what I said earlier too,
that's great.
I'm really putting a lot of weight on hydrogen, and it has to be, the hydrogen molecule has to be under 25 nanometers to fit into your cells, to hydrate your cells. So like bulk water is not going to have hardly any hydrogen molecules in it that are under 25 nanometers, but like these nano hydrogen machines. But yeah, if you look at like a grape and a raisin, look at the ones missing water, and then all of a sudden all the wrinkles show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You were talking about carbon too, and there's a big hype that's been going on Earth for a long time, and it's carbonated drinks, whether it's soft drink or carbonated water. Now they sell to people in store, like bubbly and all that stuff that they offer with natural aromas in there, which I'm very suspicious of that word, but arôme naturel, like it's anything to do with natural. I don't think so, but now they get people to drink that carbonated gas. Shouldn't we be expelling, like breathing out carbon, not taking it in? And that is a factor of aging also. Could that be?
That's a good point. I haven't thought about that.
Why is there so much carbonated drink? Like, why put carbon gas into a drink and drink it when you're supposed to breathe it out? Like, it never made sense to me, and maybe that's why I never drank that stuff, but it never really made sense.
Yeah, I don't know, but there's something with they removed and then carbon's supposedly good for you too. There's something with them removing carbon from our atmosphere some time ago, and then it made us all shrink.
Yeah, like our height is much less. But as far as like the hydrogen machines and stuff, you have to be careful, because there's, it's becoming a more and more well-known thing, and so many companies are producing these machines, but a lot of them are using like inferior metals.
Yeah, they're cheap alloy plated metals, and then when you electrolyze them in water, the metal just gets into the water pretty much on all of them. more or less. But we found one, a Japanese, where
Yeah.
like Toyota helped develop it, and they have huge funding. And this machine is in almost every house in Japan. I think it's in every hospital in Japan, and it's in every ambulance in Japan, because you can also breathe the gas of it too.
Yeah, it comes with like a little.
It's called the cannula.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it has the, because Japanese are so good at blending metal, because they have a history of making swords. So you want to make a metal that is bound in place and doesn't fracture little particles off.
Yeah.
And it's made with a high quality platinum alloy, where the other ones it'll be like a base metal with like a diluted platinum coating to it. But yeah, it flakes off into the water, and then you're drinking these funny metals.
Yeah. So anyone like interested in the one that we use, and we've had it for like 3 years. It's the Lourde's Holy Hydrogen Hydrofix. And there's a link in our description for those that are listening on our YouTube channel.
No, I saw a video that Nick did on your channel. I went to your channel and I clicked on a few videos because I wanted to have a feel of what you guys are into. Obviously, I have you on my screen, so I want to know. And I saw Nick with the machine and all his magic potion he was making with all the stuff. And yeah, I found it very interesting. All the fulvic humic acid you were putting all kinds of white powder into it too. I don't remember exactly the name, but
clay.
Yeah, clay and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we found a really good clay resource too. What is it?
Herbsandvitalityclay.com.
The sacred clay.
It's
really
from it's below Crater Lake, Oregon. They found this clay, and it has a unique blend of like rare minerals in it.
Now,
and that's another big thing. I mean, we can stay hydrated, but we also have to replenish our minerals to stay young.
That's where I was gonna go. Now we need minerals, we need vitamins a lot and stuff like this. Vital minerals. That's what vitamins are. It says in the word. So you want to stay vital, you better have your minerals for sure. But all those products that you use and stuff, is it possible to find that in nature, like in a fruit or a veggie, or is because the soil has been so heavily depleted of all the good stuff to grow the food that now you end up with an apple with very, very low amount of nutrient in it compared to before? Also, the soil have been depleted. So that is the reason why you go to supplement like this?
Yeah. And then I also am thinking like, yes, the soil is depleted, and you're also shipping these fruits and vegetables all across the world, and they're losing their mineral nutrient content as they decay.
Their electromagnetic charge for sure too, and their biophotons coming off of it, they're just getting flat.
Yeah.
An orange in 1920, in order to get the amount of nutrients from one orange that you were to eat in 1920, today you need to eat 8 oranges to get the equivalent of nutrients.
Yeah, and they're not so juicy. Also, they're freaking dry, the orange, compared to the one they produce. Like I saw in China, the girl was opening an orange and full juice coming out of there. I'm like, wow, that's not the orange in Florida.
Yeah.
Like turning to plastic
orange, or like it's very it's dry. It's most fruits are dry almost when you get them from the supermarket, for sure.
Yeah, because they've been sitting there for who knows how long since they've been harvested.
They're totally losing all their light.
Oh yeah, no,
which comes from magnetism. They're losing their magnetism.
And
so if you can find the locally grown produce and fruits, I know that's hard in the winter months for people who live, in the cold climates, but those are obviously optimal. And then grow your own too if you have the resources.
Exactly, if you have the space and the resources. But again, it doesn't take that. You can grow on the side of a window. You don't need much. Okay, you need I do it in my driveway here. In the summer, I have 3 spots for parking. I have 1 car, so there's 2 spots that goes for gardening, and I have full tomatoes, peppers, all kinds of stuff, and I pack the backyard too. So my wife always says, "Don't pack it too much," but I always, it's good to have those resources and at home also, and not just go buy it. And you grow a lot better stuff at home. The cucumber more juicy and stuff. Like I said,
yeah, I boycott cucumbers and tomatoes until they start coming in fresh.
Exact. Me too. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, because they don't taste good. Anyway, you buy an English cucumber in the store.
Ugh.
I bought some yesterday. I taste. I'm like, "Shit, that doesn't taste like mine."
No.
It's so yeah. So aging. Now we talk about aging. The first sign of aging we see on the person is gray hair. Now, why do some people, you think, in your perspective, age faster than others? Also, the gray hair, is it directly related to the stress you're experiencing, or?
Well, as far as I know at this point, it would be connected to a fungus, and there's also Domadex follicum. It's a mite parasite, little tiny thing that there's a certain type of Domadex that lives in everyone's face. It's a little mite parasite, and then there's another slightly different type of Domadex follicum parasite that lives in everyone's hair. So it has something to do with that and a yeast, maybe yeast-based fungus, and then those disrupting the copper, zinc, and selenium levels.
Because the reason why they lose their color is they're lacking minerals, probably the air or something. There's
the calcium and zinc and copper
and selenium. Basically, is probably way more to the story, but I think those species, especially the fungus, is going to be consuming those minerals to live on their own, leaving your hair with none. Because if you look at a gray hair, it's actually clear. It actually, to me, it appears quite clear, indicating, it lost its carbon, and its minerals and such.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah, because there's people that will have gray hair at 20, 25, and some others just at 50, 60, even that. Sometimes you look at them, they're like, "You're not 50-year-old, you're not like, you don't have a single gray hair." Like, it's a reference for us, the gray hair. Like, that's a bit how we know if that and the wrinkles on the face. The way you express yourself too has to do with age. Like,
yeah. And then there's an interesting thing with hats, because they have formaldehyde and chemicals in and then you're kind of smothering this yeast fungus from fresh air and light, and then you're just feeding it chemicals and fungus. And people will wear hats. They'll wear hats a lot, and then they'll end up losing their hair, and then they'll put more hats on as it's going to cover the losing graying hair, and then it just keeps, you know what I mean? It begets more of, what's going on, because they're trying to cover it, and then you lose it even faster. So there's something with that too. I'm sure there's a lot going on, but yeah.
No, the hats makes very much sense to me. Definitely, you're trapping something, and especially those, like this one doesn't have holes in it. It's like, so yeah. So in the summer, I rarely wear a hat because I'm hot. More in the winter, but it's a good thing to put aside the hats on our heads.
If you could just get an organic hat somehow, I wish there was more companies making these things. Then there would be really no problem.
Yeah, that's it. Organic material, better. That's what I'm gonna look for. My next topic is the CBD, but also CBN and CBG. Lately, that has been coming out. I have it here for myself. After my injury, I had to take something for the pain and the inflammation, and if I wanted to be functional again, so I turned to CBD. But also CBN, very, very good for nighttime, and CBG. Have you experienced with those?
Yep. I've tried the strains that are dominant just in CBN, CBG. CBN was very strong at sedating.
Yeah.
CBD for a long time, And then currently I'm utilizing medium THC, but pretty high CBD strains, and that's good. And then I have one that I let age for a long time, which turns into CBN. And that one's very sedating. That could be very useful for falling asleep.
And how do you prepare them? You buy distillate and you make it yourself? That's what I do here. I buy distillate, CBD, CBG, CBN, and I make it myself with MCT oil. That's the other thing I want to talk to you about, because you have to blend those distillate or concentrate with some kind of carrier. And the MCT oil apparently is perfect because of the medium chain triglyceride or something. So a medium chain oil, better for, and often it comes from coconut, those MCT oil. So is it what you do? You mix it with the MCT oil?
Oh yeah, or that would be good too. We actually just got MCT oil, like almost like a half gallon of it in the mail yesterday. But yeah,
and I talked to you about that today.
Yeah, it's funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
But we use hemp seed oil because it has all the
Hemp seed oil.
right. It's the same plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't do I grow it, and then for the CBN one, it had just happened to have been aged in a paper bag for like 4 years, and I believe that would be accurate for the botanical people out there. I think they would agree. Yeah, it converts to CBN.
The thing about CBG, very good, but apparently very hard to extract, and that's why it's more expensive. Like you go online and CBG will be double the price of the CBD extract. I think it's because it's a compound that is harder to extract, but it's possible. Do you extract it yourself at home with what do you use, alcohol to extract it?
So I no, it's a double boil infusion because I don't want to lose terpenes and I don't want so much heat or direct heat. So just pretend that this would be a mason jar here. And I take the high CBN, high CBD, high THC, whatever strain. So this is a mason jar. I just put the flour in it, 3/4 to half. Try to do 1-to-1, and then I fill it up with the hemp seed oil. So it's got flour and hemp seed oil, 1-to-1, and then I just drop this in a boiling pot. So it's like a double boil, and it seals the terpenes in there, and it decarbs in there and all, and it works great. And then I boil that for at least an hour, and that works
And then
good.
you strain the whole thing.
Yeah, and then I strain it, and then I've also put this in the sun and let the sun cook it.
Yeah, that's really neat.
So that's kind of a cool idea.
It's like
too.
a long, slow cook.
Yeah, I
When,
like
and
this.
like when the sun is
Anyway.
like July and August. Yeah.
And the people may think that the direct sunlight could damage it, which it could. I don't know, but the batch turned out good.
We put it in a black sock.
Yeah, so it filters some of the sunlight.
Yeah,
it got the radiant heat from the sun.
Yeah, we put the jar in a black sock. So, and then we put it in like a tote too. So
black tote.
So it doesn't get like the direct sunlight. Yeah.
Interesting.
Different ways.
It's like sun-dried tomatoes, but sun-dried cannabis.
Yeah.
Infusion.
Yeah.
No,
infusion.
I think it has great. Look, it has changed my life completely. The CBD. I don't even think I would be as functional as I am without CBD. It really, it's the knee that I had an issue with, and I had inflammation like crazy at the beginning, and I started to taking CBD, and boop, I went from walking not more than 10 minutes to walking an hour. Like it's really, really a big change. That's why I talk about it all the time to everyone, because if you're in pain, if you have problem with inflammation or something, go towards CBD, then add CBN, CBG, THC if you want. Do you also, now where you are in the States, is it Babylonian legal, the cannabis?
Yeah, it's legal now. As of I think last year You can legally grow 7 plants.
8, yeah. 8
8?
flowering, 8 vegetating.
Okay.
Or 4 flowering, 4 vegetation.
Okay.
And then what is the CBG for?
CBG is really, I think it comes and act with the CBD a lot. When you take it, it's like a complement of the CBD. Me, what I find, CBG is very beneficial at night, also as a nighttime formula to help you have better sleep. But CBG is wonderful. I find it's really an uplifting also compound. Like it will not create anxiety or stuff like this. It's relaxing. So
I think that one
yeah.
was the one that was major in correcting, adjusting, and really helping people like greatly with irritable bowel syndrome, which was like something that was considered impossible. None of our synthetic medications will address irritable bowel syndrome. But I think CBG regulates appetite and the bowels and the digestive system so well. I think that was one of its big takeaways too.
Yeah, I'm trying to read something on CBG. Let's dig into what CBD is exactly as well as yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And,
there's a lot of stuff. I invite others to go research on it. But yes, CBG is very, very good. I take it at nighttime along with the CBD and the CBN and the THC. Me, I have a regiment all set. Oh yeah, me, but I'm big on. I like the THC sativa, especially. By me, I get it medically from a medical company here in Canada for my injury, so it's it's very accessible for me. But Canada, it's all over, so it's easy to get. But it's miracle. It's miracle to me. It changed my life completely. I'm able to go biking now in the summer and stuff. I would have never done this 8 years ago. So
Wow.
It's pretty much
it's gonna change your life. Definitely.
Yeah, if I look at all my supplements, it's like my best supplement because instantly, every time, guaranteed to level and regulate everything. Anytime I'm ungrounded or something, it helps with that.
Yeah.
It helps if I overeat, if I undereat, it regulates. It's like the master regulator. It regulates everything. Because if you look at the cannabinoid nervous system, which is a nervous system in your body that's larger than all 3 nervous systems that was left out of all books. It's called the cannabinoid nervous system, and it regulates everything. Digestion, like pH, calcium, magnesium, nervous response. Like if your cannabinoid system is healthy and functioning good, you don't respond. Oh, whoa! Like you don't jump and jolt and go, and it does a lot.
The only thing that sometime I might have a bit of a issue with the CBD is if you take a lot, like over 100 milligram, I'm talking about, it will make you loopy. Like I get loopy. Like I don't know if it does that to you. I think it's pretty much everyone at high dose that you will get loopy. Like almost not a feeling of being drunk, but not similar. I cannot say that, but a bit. I don't know if I can express it well when I say loopy, but drowsy or it will make you sleep. Definitely.
I had no idea that it would do that, and we took a lot like many years ago, and we're like, whoa!
It'll make you hallucinate if you take enough of it.
Yeah. No, I've took doses of 100 milligram over of CBD, and I'm telling you, you're gonna feel it. So that's why when you take that stuff, you should go slow, step by step. Start with 10 milligram, 10 milligram, and go up. But definitely, it has a tremendous benefit on the overall health. Also, even good to prevent some disease. Also, it's like you said, you have a cannabinoid system inside of you, so maybe you should use it. Just saying.
Yeah, Yeah, and you can tell when
Yeah.
it's being used too, because you're like, your focus is way better. Everything's better and just more in balance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you do got to know
Oh
the
yeah.
exact
Definitely.
amount you need too. It helps a lot.
That and the microdosing also with the mushroom helps a lot for. And I saw your regimen the other day. I commented on it. Your
Yeah.
extract and stuff, and that's
Yep.
great stuff. Definitely, the microdosing of mushroom, hallucinative mushroom, Aminatum muscaria, and all the. Now there's many kinds of mushroom, but we're
Yeah.
not talking doing a macro journey every month. It's not what we're saying, but a few times, once in a while, a macro journey is good too. But it might take you on a high, and it's good. I find everything becomes more vivid, more colorful, like it should be, honestly. And the
Mm-hmm.
micro dose helps you really with the focus. That's what it does to me. I'm really become hyper focused and inspired to, like, I don't know what it does inside. Might reconnect some a neuron together that's were disconnected or something, but it
Yeah.
has tremendous uh, health benefit, not just for a feeling, but focus and attention and
Mm-hmm.
more clarity also, because
Mm-hmm.
everything become more clear. So yeah,
Yeah.
oh, I
Yeah.
love that stuff.
Yeah, definitely it helps with, and the macro could be useful. I think almost the micro dose is even better because you can do it every single day. It's not so extreme. And
Yeah,
you can slowly figure out how much you want if you can take a good amount, and it increases your awareness to everything, how you think, who you are, your habits. But like a
at
big dose, you'll go right into your subconscious mind and just analyze everything. It could be too much.
it's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I just did it before coming on. I took it an hour ago, the microdose. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here. Do I look stone on mush? No.
Half the
So,
time you don't even realize it until later, and you're like, "Oh, that's why I was on fire today." Like, like coming
oh
up with
yeah.
all the ideas and stuff.
Sometimes I look at some in my videos, I'm like, oh, I must have been high on something on that one for sure. But I never did anything here without help of mid-station substance. So to me,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a regular day like any other. And that's
Yeah.
like Nick said, you can do it every day. There's me, I mix it with turmeric, ginger. Also, you can make your own microdosing, like they sell capsules, vegan capsules on Amazon. That's what I buy. And I put the turmeric, ginger, moringa powder, all kinds of stuff in that capsule, along with a little bit of mushroom. And
Mm-hmm.
then you don't even have to taste it because the taste is nasty. I never really liked the taste of those mushrooms. Even in chocolate, in peanut butter, name it, the taste
Yeah.
is not great. But if you put it into a capsule, boom, you don't even
Mm-hmm.
taste it.
Yeah.
So it has really high benefit. I suggest to everyone, even if you have never done it, like it's something to try. Even you don't have to be scared of it. First of all, it's natural. It's a mushroom, so it grows. So I don't think we should be scared of it. But
Mm-hmm.
that's it's
And
a
then if you're taking the microdose, you most likely will hardly even know you took
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So there's
Like I
nothing,
said, I don't
yeah.
feel it. I just feel normal, but more vibrant,
Yeah.
more focused. My attention is at the right place instead
More
of being
alive, right?
more alive. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, me, I'm so alive. Me, wow.
Yeah.
Oh
More
yeah. But
conscious
yeah,
too.
I
Yeah.
Way
think this
less.
I become even more alive.
Yeah. And one thing I wanted to point out too is, we were doing microdoses of psilocybin. And now recently we came across the Amanita mushroom,
Yeah,
and it's
it's even
I
better.
like it better. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we might have said that in the last one
Uh,
too, but yeah, at
Mm.
this point, the psilocybin has been grown in so many different unnatural conditions, and I mean, I'm sure there's a ton that are good out there but I don't know. But for me, I'm liking the Amanita now because they all you can't get Amanita that was grown by a person in a plastic totes or in a basement or an apartment, or you can't get in homegrown Amanita at all ever. You can only get them from, and they're like from like holy places, like mountain ranges have like crazy high energy. Mountain ranges are like technically in the spiritual realm. They get like terahertz frequencies coming off. They only grow under cedars and pine trees, which are like holy as can be too. So you're getting them, you know, obviously they're going to be so I like those. And then they have this GABA analog, GABA, which is this I think it's a neuroreceptor site and a neurochemical in your brain, which is responsible for relaxation. Sometimes on a come up of psilocybin, and now all the psilocybin's been bred so much where some of it's crazy strong, and they're just trying to make it stronger and stronger and stronger. Sometimes you'll take a microdose of psilocybin, you'll be tripping. One time, her face turned into geometric mandala hallucinations. Like I was just talking to her, and then like all of a sudden, all these different shapes
on just a micro of psilocybin,
like a speck of it, and they're just all different. No matter, doesn't like every time you get one, it could be one grown with a crazy high. Nonetheless, Amanita is high ranging too. But yeah, I don't know. I've been liking the Amanita. It's fun.
Yeah, and there's a difference between stuff grown on a flat land and the prairies, where they grow wheat, but they don't find wheat growing on mountain. Like you said, the mountain has a very, very canalized energy to it too. And I'm sure you will find stuff, like you said, Amanita muscaria, probably just in higher places on Earth, not on low ground. They vibe high, so you find them high on mountain range and stuff.
It seems like a good indicator that it's good.
I think that's why you find them at those places. Now, Kim said in the chat, she said the microdose also helps a lot with nausea and also women in premenopause or menopause, or it can really, really help. I think it has benefit in that sense anyway. It's something we should all pretty much experience. Maybe we would have a more vibrant world if we're all on microdose.
Oh, for sure. And then I just wanted to say earlier too, to negate the fear, just gain knowledge. So gain knowledge of milligrams and all that, and gain knowledge of people with experience. And then there's no fear at all. Like guaranteed, I've seen 10,000 people take 1 milligram and they had this thing. There's no fear. There's like, I know what's going to happen.
And then also for those that are concerned of the legalities, Amanita is completely legal, whereas psilocybin in most places isn't.
It's not made in a lab. You find it in nature. So it's not like it's LSD made in a lab. We're not talking about that. Right. We're talking about something growing in nature. So
it's just that little red and white mushroom on Mario Brothers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You see it everywhere. That's also related to the Santa Claus story. That's why Santa Claus is red and white. Yeah. Apparently, before they were going around in the houses giving mushrooms to everyone. That's why he's dressed in like a mushroom.
And something with the reindeer ate them, and
they started to fly. Why do you think the reindeer fly?
That's it. And then they grow under Christmas trees. Hello.
Yeah. Now my next topic is water. I want to go back on the water memory because something came to me, and it's about the soul recycling. Now, could our own recycling process be done through the waters of the earth? Because water is everywhere. It's in the air, it's in the soil, it's in the sea, the rivers, the fleuve. It's everywhere. So also they are doing black magic with the water by passing that through turbine and all kinds of stuff to produce electricity with. I think there's something dark with this. I don't know exactly what it is exactly, but I feel like there's something dark with the hydroelectricity, because there could be other ways to produce power than putting water through a turbine. Maybe the ether can provide power, energy and stuff. Maybe we're not told that kind of stuff. but I think there's something with my point is the soul recycling and the fact that some might be coming back here on Earth for another experience after their current one has to do with the water evaporating from the sea coming back down. I don't know. It makes why is water everywhere on Earth? Like you're made of water. You're like they say.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is the moon. The moon's element is water.
Oh.
And the moon's, I've read that is a portal into this world. And the moon also is the womb in the woman. So something to do with that.
And does the moon really have an effect also on the tides?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Seems like it does.
And it has an effect on us too. Like yesterday, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday was the new moon in Pisces. And we were not hungry. Because on a new moon, like your stomach, you can't see the moon during a new moon.
The moon rules the stomach.
Yeah, you don't see it.
The moon rules the stomach. And so it's like in a new moon, it's like void. So your stomach's like you just don't get as hungry.
Smaller.
Yeah, it's smaller.
Not illuminated and giant. Like a full moon, you get really hungry. So do your parasites.
So yesterday we basically fasted all day because we just weren't hungry.
Well, the ancients would fast on the new moon.
Yeah.
And then if you look into medical astrology, Cancer rules the stomach and spleen, which is also a digestive organ. And the moon rules Cancer.
Yeah. A water
sign.
So
the waxing and waning of the moon also regulates your appetite and your stomach and spleen function.
Yeah.
I don't know, it makes sense. Anyway, I'm
but
sure
as far
that
as recycling the souls, go ahead.
Why? Also, it makes sense that it's a portal or some. Often you go in the moon, like you're in the moon, you stare and you just stare, and it's like you're gone. You say, "Oh, hey, you're in the moon." Like it must have to do with the moon being a portal. On dit en français, hey, t'es dans la lune, toi, t'es dans la lune, t'es dans la lune, okay. In French also, why do they call it a lune? Lune and moon in English. It's very bizarre, but yeah, it's a total different word. Lune, lune, t'es dans la lune. Anyway, it has something to do with being. It's certainly not what we have been told. I don't buy it. Not what it is. It's a mystery, but it seems to be some portal.
Yeah,
like
and then
stars could be portal, or constellation could be portal, or your mirror could be a portal too. Like we said,
your phone, your
prior,
screen,
or
that's
other
totally
topic.
a portal because we're just like portaling into whatever information.
And then lune comes
Makes
from
sense.
lunar. It's lunar, like lunar, lunatic, and then it's also Luna in Spanish, and then Italian, Portuguese, I think Romanian.
Lune.
Luna.
Lunatic. You see, you have it in English, but you only say lune in French. Luna, Luna.
And then on the full moons, the lunatics are more active.
Now I would like to talk about the oil. Huh?
The what?
Yeah. Like I said, I want to take the other topic on. It's oils, okay? Seed oils. Like there's a big, lots of information going around about seed oil not being very good for you, but it's not necessarily where I want to go. I want to talk about if there's oils. The way I pronounce it might sound a bit weird. My wife always tells me when I say oil, there's no H. You might hear a H when I say it, but that's my French. So the oils in the seed, okay, there's oil in there, but there's oil in the body too. Now, could that oil have a very specific function in our body, and it's important? Is there something we can do to preserve that oil inside our body and help it ascend to, I don't know, the pineal gland or something in the head that, woo, suddenly you become illuminated because your oil is up, or I don't know what it is, but maybe you can explain me a bit more the process of the ascension of the oil within the body, because there's oils in pretty much every food, so why would there not be inside us too? And we
Yeah,
eat oils, so eating good oils can help also, maybe the process
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
possibly. Your do you wanna or
Go ahead.
your body generates oil. Your solar plexus creates oil. Well, if you look at solar plexus is a medical term. If you look at the chakras, you may not think it's even physical, but it is. It's a nerve ganglia brain, a lot like a big old net of physical nerves. You could cut me open right now and see them coming off your spine, and they each go up to the front to a new thing, and those are called chakras. But it's actually a physical thing, and people think it's some may or may not. I don't know about it at this point, but they're very physical things. Yeah, like solar plexus will be in your medical books, and that's the chakra below the heart, the yellow one. But it's a nerve ganglia that comes off your spine, comes up here. I'm not sure all exactly how it looks in details and such, but it does create oil. That's where all your oil in your body is generated, your cerebral spinal oil. So that's why they say when the moon is in your sun sign, the moon plants a psychophysical germ in your solar plexus,
Seed.
which would be like some sort of oil multiplying energy, which can, if it has a lot of hydrogen and etherical elements and less density, it can raise up through the spinal, the Ida and the Pingala, the two networks that go up the spine, and then it'll go into all these things in your brain, like the it'd be the pineal gland ultimately, but there's a lot going on up there in the head. I don't know all the exact medical terminology they have, but it goes through different networks in the head, and then I can get to the pineal gland, third eye chakra, give you light. But it can also furnish your cerebral spinal fluid in your cerebrum, and if that fluid has a lot of magical etherical properties, hydrogen and ormus and minerals and such, when it bathes the cerebrum, the brain, it can activate new dormant brain cells, so it can make new neural networks, more consciousness, new ideas. So it can do a lot, the oil.
And often where we notice this oil ascension, why I bring this up, is because we can verify it physically also. Like, it happens at time where my forehead become a bit more greasy, or my hair, or so you will rarely feel the hair on your arm being greasy, or your body parts, or your arms, or your knees, or your ass, or whatever. So it's always the forehead and the hair. So it must go up. Like if you feel grease or greasy on your forehead, I'm not saying it's all the time, but it happened to everyone. Sometimes we might, like it's a bit more lust. Like you see the lust,
Yeah, the luster.
Le lustre.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and
so
some
maybe,
well, some people make it go down too. If they add
Mhm.
a lot of density and dense emotions and thoughts and dense to their bottom, and then harmful things like alcohol to break the gaseous etherical nature off of it and destroy the pH of it, and that oil can then become more dense and it'll fall down. It'll make you more primal. So it'll drop into the sacral, and it'll make you real hungry, real hungry and sexual. It'll drop down to all these. So all you do want to do is eat and have sex, and you're just in your primal mind, because now all that cerebral spinal fluid is occupying the lower bottom half of the spine and all those nerves and such. So it's just going to stimulate all those organs down there. Whereas if you can bring the gaseous vibration up, it'll steam up and stimulate your heart, where you love everything and everyone, and then your throat chakra, and then your pineal gland. It can steam up to there and stimulate that, and then your crown chakra, and you can become illuminated and all that.
Yeah.
So that sexual energy is better contained than released.
Yeah. Yeah, especially as Nick was saying earlier, when the moon is in your sun sign. So, for instance, I'm a Taurus sun. So every month the moon moves through Taurus. It moves through every single sign every month. So once a month for 2.5 days, you want to sustain from any sexual activity. Do not overeat. Fast if you can. Don't be stressed in those 2.5 days. Anything you can just do to stay regulated, and then that will help that oil move up.
Yeah, because the stress, you'll be secreting adrenaline and cortisol from your adrenals, and that's going to break up all the beautiful magical gaseous elixirs in your body, because it's the last type, something like that. And then semen retention is important too, because that fluid, as it goes up and down, it differentiates in constitution, vibration, gas, and density. It goes up and down, and it's all different rates of motion and such in each chakra. But all at the bottom, the cerebral spinal fluid and that oil we're talking about creates semen. So semen is just the lowest modality of cerebral spinal fluid. It can go up and down and change and such. But that's what that is. It's cerebral spinal fluid. So if you're just letting all that out all the time, you're drying up your cerebral spinal nervous system, and then your nerve fluids will eventually dry up, and your cerebrum will dry up, and all the oils in your body will dry, and you'll just age really fast. That's why these ancient Chinese know this, and Japanese, and all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And are women affected the same way when
not as much? I think men are slightly different. They're like a different, maybe different, quite a bit different creature. You have an option to let it all out. So.
Energetically, a woman can move it up rather than like blast it out down in the lower chakras. But as far as like physically,
there is fluids down there.
Yeah,
but just not as much.
But it doesn't like pour out of you like it does in a man.
Not every woman will pour it out. Sometimes it stays contained. I don't know how to explain that in a way
even
that
is
hearable for everyone. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But even the lubrication from the females, from that oil too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to go down there and occupy that, and some of it's going to get expelled, and it's going to be sitting down there, but they're not going to lose it. And that's why I think women live a lot longer, because there's contained in their system.
So is that why women, as they age, they become less lubricated down there, because they dry out, or they don't sustain that good oils inside with good food or something? Maybe the bad food we eat collectively has to do with the fact that you get drier down there. You don't lubricate, because women should lubricate very easily. Like it in nature, it's intended to mate. So if we go to our primal nature, is one man than human.
And you can put honey up there too. That stingless bee honey, that nasute nectar. There's a lot of women having amazing success with a syringe and this nasute nectar, the specific pH 12 stingless bee honey. It's the best honey ever. You can do a million things with it. Put it in your eyes to help your vision, ears, nose, teeth, whatever. Honey's good. There's plant pollen, plasma, never goes bad. But if you put it in a syringe and put it up there, I only would recommend the stingless bee honey because it's alkaline. Other stuff can be acidic from GMO bees. They're now making an aluminum-based GMO bee. Monsanto, I think they already made it because there's aluminum, everything with the aluminum thing. But the stingless bee honey, you can put it up there, and that can help all these different sorts of women things too.
Yeah. And then as far as it drying up, I mean, our skin, as we age, if we're not taking care of ourselves, our skin dries up.
Yeah.
Our hair essentially dries up and turns gray. And just everything's drying up. So if you can do all the things, then you won't dry up down there either.
Mm-hmm.
Exact. Like I don't think it's a normal, but it's a normal because it's the norm for all. But it's not something intent by nature for you to dry up like a prune.
No.
That's it. So next thing is arthritis. It's a good one because do you have anything in place? Like, do you inform others on way to treat arthritis and maybe to prevent it? But that would be from a young age. You have to start young, taking care of yourself, taking care of your body. Maybe you won't have so much arthritis, but if you're stuck with inflammation, because arthritis is inflammation, I have it myself here in one of my thumb, and I kind of suffer a bit from it sometimes. Sometimes it goes away, sometimes it comes back, depending on the temperature. What is all this? When it's more humid outside, people have more problem with their joint. Why? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, so I think it's heavily related to magnesium and the calcium ion channel and the calcium magnesium matrix, or they work together. Calcium magnesium. Calcium
CalMag. I give that to my
CalMag. Yeah.
friend. CalMag.
Yep. Yeah, because they work together. Magnesium transports and dissolves calcium. Calcium can't do anything without magnesium. In the calcium ion channel, there's 10,000 times more magnesium. So if you're deficient in magnesium, all your calcium levels are going to be wrecked. So if you don't have magnesium, it's not dissolving it and sending it where it needs to go along the channel, like your teeth and bones.
Yeah.
It'll send it to your tissues, and you get stiff and your muscles twitch because you'll be over excess in calcium in your tissues rather than your bones and teeth. And you'll get these hard, twitchy muscles, cramps, because calcium is very hard. It's almost like a metal, and it's very conductive. And that's what the twitching is. It's firing. It's conducting all this electricity, which should be taking different pathways, but it's going and it's finding the pathway in the muscle
Into the joints.
and through all the calcium in there is making it twitch. But yes, it also goes into the joints, and that's what arthritis is. It's a magnesium deficiency, which is, from calcium being sent to the joints, should be, and then it's like a teeth and bones. People have way too weak, porous teeth and bones because all their calcium is in their tissue, in their joints, where it should not be, all because of magnesium deficiency.
Yeah.
It explains it very well. It makes sense also why people, their teeth are falling off their mouth and stuff.
Yep.
Cavities and stuff.
And the number one thing that remotely affects the calcium channel, calcium magnesium channel, is radiation. All these 5G towers and cell phones. If you got your cell phone on you all the time, if you don't, and you're on the computer all day.
Yeah, like for me, I didn't have a smartphone up until 2017, and once I got one, after about a year of use, I started getting a pain right here from the radiation. And then as I continued to use it, that pain cycled up into my arm, and I knew it was the phone. So one thing that has helped the pain in my arm, there's still a little bit of pain in my hand because it's direct. I hold my phone in my hand directly. It's not on my arm. But anyways, the one thing we found that helps with the pain in the arm is the EmGuarde. It's a radiation harmonizer, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it stops that. It's 72 megahertz coming off of like everything. And that's what your calcium ion channel and your brain works at. It works at that rate of frequency. So when you got a electronic and outside stimulated, it's like it's disrupting the current of that because it's got the signal telling it to do this and go. I think it's making it go backwards or something. I don't know exactly.
Well, and it has something to do with like stacking of the red blood cells.
It also, that would be more iron related,
Okay.
but it also and that may be the 36 megahertz coming off the phones. There's like three main ones that resonate human body tissue, which
Mhm.
will alter. But yeah, the phones will make your red blood cells stack because it disrupts the electromagnetic charge of your red blood cells. Your red blood cells are made of like iron, and iron is magnetic, so they have to have a correct magnetic charge to keep them all repelled from each other. And they'll lose that because I think it's a 36 megahertz from the phone. They'll lose it. They'll lose the charge, and they'll all magnetize to each other. These little platelet, they're like a one big magnet, and then they'll be clumpy. Your butt will be all gloopy and clumpy from the cell phones.
So
Or
all those
Wi-Fi.
electromagnetic frequencies we have around don't help also for arthritis and stuff, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's one of the main causes. Well, there's no magnesium in the food really anymore. That's why we like Baja sea salt. We support that, and RnA Reset. It's
So magnesium, we should put the focus on magnesium. Magnesium. I like the word magnet, definitely. And like we said in the last interview we had together, it's has the magnet has two ways. It's either push or attract. So you might have possibility to push the bad stuff out and attract the good stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and the sun rules magnesium. The moon rules silver, zinc, and calcium. Fluoride. Saturn rules calcium phosphate for the bones and teeth. But the moon or the sun is the ruler of magnesium, and it's the god of our realm. I mean, everyone worships the sun. It relaxes you. It heals everything. It controls your genes, your vitamin D levels. It does everything.
So as magnesium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it makes
what you're
plants
saying.
green.
Like the effect of the sun could, like I have it right on me right now. The effect of the sun is there. Maybe that's why it's showing up, because I need magnesium.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's directly related to magnesium. So we should not minimize the power of the sun and the power of the magnesium, definitely.
Yeah. And then as far as like, there's all sorts of magnesiums out there, right? Like different brands. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I can't take magnesium. It gives me diarrhea. Oh, it makes me nauseous, this and that. I just can't take it. Well, there's different forms out there. The one we found is in pico size. So it actually absorbs into your cells, where a lot of the magnesiums are just you're, peeing them out or whatever, excreting them out. And it doesn't give it's RnA Reset. Again, if you're listening on our YouTube channel, there's a link. You can also go to our website and products page. RnA Reset is the best magnesium we've found.
Yeah, everybody loves it. No complaints. Really, it's amazing. And they also address the ionic charge too, which has something to do with not giving you diarrhea as well. Pretty smart company.
Yeah.
So the reason why you take magnesium supplement is exactly because in food today there's not much nutrients left, right?
No,
so
you
the
have to
amount we would
supplement.
intake from, you would have to eat a ton of banana to get the same amount of magnesium or something.
And that might be part of the
that
might be a part of the overeating epidemic. This is just coming to me now, is because people are eating because they're not getting the nutrients and minerals, so they're constantly hungry.
Or enzymes. There's no enzymes in the food, and then your body can't even digest it. So then it's just sitting there, and then your body's got to use up all your enzymes and generate enzymes to break it down, and it's just falling behind. No nutrients, no enzymes, no light, no magnetism. It's just cellulose and whatever else is flat.
So you have to supplement, and you have to find the best supplements, because a lot of them out there, it's a waste of money.
You absorb 7% of most of them. So that's why we're going to all this angstrom. The surface area of it should be about the size of an angstrom, more or less, to actually utilize it inside your cells. And then also coat your body from the outside. So you're feeding your body from the outside and through your digestive tract, 360-degree encompassment of nutrients.
Could also our bodies know from the inside what we need to intake in the moment? Because I've been for the last 2 weeks solid eating I'm frozen.
We can hear you
frozen again. Okay. I've been eating a lot of cabbage. So could
Mhm.
my body tell me that I need the stuff that is in the cabbage, and that's why we extend? Because animals are the same. Why do animals know what to eat? Why do an eagle know exactly what diet he should engage in? Maybe it's within themselves, within the gene from generation to generation, and then also we're naturally attracted to seasonal food, whether it's tomatoes in the summer or cabbage in the fall. But recently I've been eating a lot of cabbage. I'm like, is there something inside of me attracting me to the
Yeah.
cabbage?
Your body's a machine, and it's like this electromagnetic machine, and you are one with everything around you. So it's just finding the streams to the thing you need. So your body's wanting that because your liver wants that, and your body wants glutathione or sulfur from the cabbage. Sulfur is glutathione. Glutathione is sulfur. And glutathione is a little sticky little particle that your liver should be producing, but our bodies are not producing that. And it goes around and it cleans up and attracts and sucks up and draws up because it's sticky. Sulfur's sticky. Waste inside and outside of the cell. So yeah, I think your body and your liver wants that glutathione.
And that's another thing that makes us age is the glutathione levels depleting over time. I can't remember what the numbers are, but
10% every 10 years past age 18.
So glutathione's another big supplement and that we use every day.
Yeah. We swish with it every day.
Yeah.
I think that will be it for today because I know I'm frozen on the screen. But the next one we do together, I want to talk more about the oxalate in food, the cookware also we use. The idea of self-sufficiency, I don't think it can be attained alone. Is AI even real? The nicotine in food also, the energy, solar, electric, whatever. What do you guys use? The eyes also. You see a lot through the eyes of someone. Maybe why is there just so many eyes color we can have? Like there's not 25,000 different eye color on Earth. It's either blue, brown, green. It's all the same. We all have the same eye colors pretty much. So what does this have to do also with the inside, the minerals, maybe something like that?
And taxes. We'll get into that.
Yeah. Animals in astrology, what kind of food that they eat? Is it because, like I said, an eagle knows exactly what food he has to eat. A bear also, they all know what to eat, and a bear survive in the wild. I would be very interested to see human in the wild, how long they would survive compared to a bear, because a bear knows exactly what berries to eat and that they're safe for him, but a human don't know. And human would probably go into a forest in the wild and pretty much freaking die not long after in the mode of survival, because we don't know what is good for us in the wild. We have no knowledge of the plants, of the berries, of the mushroom, so in that sense, how do we come to know what's good for us and what's safe to eat also? And is that determined by their astrological chart? Because animals have astrological chart too, if we have. So just like us humans. So maybe all this can be determined by exactly what I said, the astrology. So it's interested to... So maybe we'll look at this next time. It went very fast today. Like, must be the microdose.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's always good.
Those are good topics. I like it.
Yeah.
So cookware, especially because there's a lot of new stuff coming out, and I think there's a lot also have to do with the way they mix the metals together and stuff. So we should respect a certain ratio. I think it's 70-30. I heard something like this. Anyway, I'm going to do a bit more research and depth on those topics, but that's what we'll do next Saturday. If you're available again, I'll have you again. It's great, these talks. I love it, and I always learn a lot. So now I'm still open, but
it's perfect.
Yeah, we love sharing. Thank you.
Let's do another one for sure.
So greetings, everyone watching now, after, or whenever you have time to watch it. And us, we're all about light, love, and learning. So that's what we're going to do again next Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank
Boom.
you. See
We're
you.
out.
Bye.
See ya.